Hey everybody, welcome to another video of Trading with Jackie. I'm Jackie Panetta. So today's video I'm going to go over the fib again, but I'm doing it a little bit more differently because I've kind of tweaked some things with the fib, and so I just wanted to be able to share that with you guys and see if it might help you. And I apologize for the delay in videos and going over things. I lost my voice for a while. It's just coming back. So hopefully, I'll be able to get through this video clearly for you guys. Okay, so I'm actually actively trading right now. I'm actually just waiting for a setup. It looked like US30 actually just completed a setup. It's on its retracement back. Okay, so it might be just pulling back. It did its pullback, and I'll walk through it for a second. So I was on US30, and US30, this is off of the H1. Okay, I drew my fib. So let me draw my fib for y'all because I feel like I caught my one move on US30 today, and it's probably just going to have to set up for another one. Alright, so when you draw on the fib on AIRO, this is AIRO that you see on the screen. When you draw the fib on AIRO, AIRO's MA is this little light blue line here. And Strat 8 of AIRO, which is the Fibonacci strategy, which is the one I worked with Nate on to help create that one. Alright, because I love me my fibs. You're we're on an uptrend, so you zoom out to confirm you on an uptrend. I got more green than red. We on an uptrend on the H1. H1, D1, H4, all saying uptrend. Those are the trends I stick with and follow until they change. Okay, we on an uptrend. So zoom in. Normally when you on an uptrend, what you're going to do is you're going to draw your fib line from the price, the lowest point that price closed below the MA previously, to the highest point price closed above the AIRO MA, and then when it closes again. So I'm going to draw the fib. If you were going to take a trade based off the H1, you would draw your fib. Lowest point right here, you catch the wick. Highest point up here, you catch the wick. For the strategy 8 setup to be valid, price needs to close below the AIRO MA for you to take a trade using strategy 8 off of the H1. Okay? There is no valid setup right here for strategy 8 off the H1. However, I trade off of the M1 or the M5 when I'm trading indices. This is US30, by the way, I'm going over. Okay? So, and you see these wicks, it did not close below that AIRO MA. Okay? So this pullback is somewhat questionable pullback until that AIRO, until price closes below this AIRO MA. I'm a little questioning this pullback whether it's done or not. Alright, even if it's exhausted like that. Okay, so with that being said, now what do you do? So I'm going to mark off the fib levels that we care about: 38.2, 50, and the 61.8. This right here, 78.6, I'm going to mark it off, but I'm going to make it a thick red line because, or a thick green line, I guess, because I got red for my 200. The reason being is because we don't want to touch that line at all. We don't care. We don't care if price comes back to that line, because that means it's no longer a pullback. It's basically going to be a trend reversal possibly. We don't want those. We're using the fib to measure retracements to then turn around and go in the direction of the trend or catch the retracements. Alright, the pullbacks. Okay, so this is marking up your chart. I marked up my chart. So now I'm going to get rid of this fib. Okay, I don't need this fib right now, because now what I'm doing is I'm going down to the M1. Okay, go down to the M1. This is where I trade off of, the M1 and the M5. So now I'm down on the M1. Here's that 38.2 level. Okay, Here's the 50 level, and here's the 61.8. Okay, 38.2 is the fib level off of the H1. Valid pullback. Price can take that level, pull back, bounce up, and go. Okay, now because I'm on the M1, you got to look at the time frame. What is the price action? What's the trend going on the M1? So you zoom out. I'm on a downtrend on the M1. Okay, downtrend. So I am looking, since I'm on a downtrend and price is in retracement right now that you can see off the H1, I'm drawing my fibs for the downtrend. Okay, I'm going to walk you through how I just took my US30 trade in just a second. But we coming into this right now. This is what price is doing right now. This is the 38 fib line. Price already came back, touched it, turned around, went back up again. Alright, now that doesn't always happen. That thing could just blast through too. So some people trade based off of fib levels. That's not me. Alright, but here's what you can do though. Right now, if you want to trade the downtrend, you're going to follow the same rule. Price closed above the AIRO MA. You're going to start with price closed below, lowest point below the AIRO MA right here. And you drew this, and it becomes valid when price comes back up and close above the AIRO MA right here. So let's draw this fib line. Same thing, Fibonacci retracement, highest point, lowest point. See, this is for the downtrend. Let's see how far back price came. All the way back past the 78.6. So that could be a strong pullback or a possible trend reversal. So I cannot trade this using my Fibonacci strategy. Invalid. Okay, as of right now, invalid. So I'm gonna get rid of that fib. Can't do this move. Okay, the price came back almost like 100%. So that ain't the move. Okay, so when price does this right here though, see, what would be nice is if price would have closed below this AIRO MA and then came back up like it did, that actually still would have been a valid move. It would have been a strong push down from it though. Strong push. So keep that in mind, alright? Because that's what I'm looking for while I'm watching this. Now, let's go over the trade I took this morning. Right? So, I'm on a downtrend on the M1. Here is the 38.2 that I drew from the H1. Okay? So, at the time, price ain't here. This move didn't happen yet. That's what we pictured at. Okay? Now, I drew my fib. Same thing. Highest point above the AIRO MA. Lowest point below the AIRO MA. Here's my fib move. Let's see how far back price came back. It pulled back, pulled back, pulled back here, and it stopped. What line is that? 61.8. Valid pullback. Okay? Then all you're doing is looking for your down entry. Looking for your sell. So, when do you get in? Just look for anything. Here's a fractal high. That's a possible entry. You got this, looks like a little bearish pattern that formed here. You got that. I got an MA cross here. All signs telling me to hop in. So I hopped in. Here's the trade. Right here. Okay? I hopped in. 34104.75. Let's find it. 34104.75. Right about, let's say right there. Whoop. I'm close enough. Right there is when I got in for my sell. Where I get out at? 34094. Why? Boom. I just went one field level. That's it. I just went one field level. That cost me 100 pips. It went to 61.8. I could have went to 0. Caught me like 500 pips. Right? It's okay. I only did that because I just wanted to go one field level, bounce out, and dip. but I could have held it. Why? Because if it was, this was the retracement from the H1, and to be a valid retracement or pullback, it needed to come to the 38.2, which it did. If I would have held it, that's 724 pips. You see what I'm saying? So I was just trying to pip and dip, you know, but that's how you catch the pullbacks, utilizing the fib off the M1. That's what I've been doing. I always say I don't counter trend trade. I don't. I'm not counter trend trading because I'm following the trend of the M1. It just so happens I am catching the pullback retracement that's happening off the H1, but I'm doing it from the lower time frame. I'll be telling people that I am trading the trend. I'm trading the trend of the time frame, but I am keeping in mind top down analysis, making sure that I understand what's going on overall. And this is just US30. Same thing could be done on NAS, SP500, gold, currency pairs, don't matter. All of us follow the same thing. Fibonacci runs on everything. Okay? So that is how I took that trade, and now I'm just waiting for the next setup. So I already know that this down move is invalid, right? Down move is invalid. So it could be, like I said, it could be just turning around and get ready to take off. That's great. Let it take off. Let it do what it need to do. Change the trend of the M1. I don't care. I already got my goal for the day. Okay? So hopefully that helped you guys with the fib, and you want to catch me on AIRO calls. This is how I trade. So I trade this way on AIRO calls. I'm on SP500 when I'm on the AIRO calls, which are on Tuesdays from 9 to noon. You can join those calls if you're an AIRO subscriber. If you want to learn how to be an AIRO subscriber, click the link in the description box below. I'll hook you up. And then that's pretty much about it. And then if you are a part of Pipology and you're already a subscriber of AIRO, so two things. If you're a part of a Pipology Black Squad and you are a subscriber of AIRO or any of the other Warrior Prime software products, you can catch me on my Wednesday calls from 10 a.m. to noon. Okay? So, but this is how I trade, y'all. I know this might be boring. People might be like, oh, Fibonacci is this. Hey, Fibonacci, fib worked for me. And that's how I trade. You already know. I don't trade without my fibs anymore. So that is US30, and I'm just going to go ahead and take a look at NAS and anything else that I see. Let me see here. Let me go to my trusty S&P. So same thing. So let's go. I drew my fib. Lowest point below the AIRO MA right here. Right here. Then highest point below the AIRO MA up here. Okay? Price did not close below the AIRO MA yet to make this move valid for a setup of strategy 8. That doesn't mean that the move ain't valid. It's just for strategy 8. The H1 setup is not there. Alright? But that's okay. Come on down to the M1. Alright? Come on down. Now we on the M1. Alright? Oh, remember what do we got to do? See, I marked this off for a money zone breakout. That ain't happening today. So let's mark off our 38.2. Let's mark off our 50. Let me change the color because that's actually, let me move that down for the 78.6 because we don't like that. Right? Let's mark it off for the 50. Let's change that back to that blue. I think I even did this. Well, that's dark blue. What did I do? I think it's that one. Alright, we just gonna go there. Okay? And then we're gonna mark off that 61.8. Remember, this is all the ones we care about off this H1, right? Get rid of it. You don't need it now. Okay? You got what you got marked off. You got marked off what you needed to know. Now, come on down to that M1. What does M1 looking like? Alright, now, ooh, I think I'm about to be in a setup right now. Hold up. Price already came to that 38.2, but it looks like it want to come down again. So let's zoom out. Here's the M1. This is the M1 on S&P. Fabulous, right? Okay, we got a downtrend, and we're going to measure the downtrend. Highest point above the AIRO MA, right up there. Fib retracement tool. Boom, here. Lowest point below the AIRO MA before it closed again. Here is where it closed again. Alright, now how far did it pull back? It pulled back to the 50, and now it's coming down. So I'm gonna hop in this thing right here. Yep, hop in that thing and come on down. And this is where we're going. I'll go to that line right there. Look at that. I'm catching the pullback. I'm catching the pullback, but I'm catching it off of this. You know, I'm just going to the zone. I ain't got to go to zero. I'm just going to the zone. But I got this movement. My MAs are crossing. I got some momentum behind me. And I'm doing all this in the money zone. Okay? In the money zone. But see, top, low. Here's a pullback. You got all this stuff right here on the 50. All these rejections on the 50. And you just take it on down. That's all I'm doing. And just taking it down. I'm just going to come on down to the zone. Or whatever worked for me anyway. I'm just trying to catch a certain amount of dollars. So we'll see what happens. But that's pretty much all it is. I'll pause it and I'll let y'all know if it hit TP or not. Alright, you guys. You see where price is at right now. About to hit TP. And then, you know, go ahead and close me out. And at the same time it hit TP, it's coming back and it's going to do another touch to this 38.2 fib line off of the H1. Remember that. That's why you marked it up that way, so that you could see it. So if that's another rejection, you got all these rejections off of there. You know, so price is trying to fight it. It don't want to retrace right now. Okay, so you just catch what you can catch. You know what I'm saying? But this right here, you know, it's playing, it's acting like it don't want to hit TP. I might even just go ahead and close this out. But you know, it is what it is. You getting, see, US30 is doing the same thing. There you go. TP about to be hit. Boom. Oh, you playing? There you go. Hey, y'all saw that? Easy, y'all. That was a live trade. Let's go. See? Power of Fibonacci. I'm scalping on the M1 with Fibonacci. That's how I'm catching the counter trends. Okay? That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Now, get this money, y'all. Let's catch these pips, y'all. I'm excited. Let's go. That's a US30 and a SP500 today. Come on, y'all. Look at the melt. Catch the melts. Know your fibs and you can do this. Alright? I'm going to see y'all later. Like I said, a link in the description box below. If you want to get AIRO, you want to, you know, catch these pips with me, you know, let's do this. Everybody, just, AIRO is powerful. Okay? Utilize it and you won't be sorry for it. Okay? Alright, y'all. Y'all take care. I'm going to go ahead and drink some water because my voice is going out, but I want to make sure I got this for y'all. Alright, I'll holler at y'all. Be safe, everybody.